This meeting is being recorded.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Wait a minute, we'll share the screen. Yeah. So yesterday we learned some what we learned yesterday. That is the project identification and formulation, right? And in this session, we find the project formulation, the process, the opportunity, market analysis, right? Feasibility, pre-feasibility, then management aspects, project risks and uncertainties, right? Some technical analysis, what it is happened, okay? Which kind of tools you required, which kind of technology we required to complete the project. We have seen in this session. Now, then we find the payback period, how we calculate it. Obviously, we'll learn how we calculate it. Then the NPV, right? ROI, what it is, discount cash flow, how we analyze it, right? The cash ratio, IRR, everything we have seen yesterday. Then the risks and uncertainty we have seen, and some economic benefits and management aspect, right? Now today we have seen the project appraisal. What it is, the project appraisal. The project appraisal is the process of critical examination and analysis of the proposal in totality, right? So after completion your project, you just prepare the project appraisal and just examine what kind of problems face when you start the project, right? The project quality, the work quality, right? And all overall you just mention in appraisal. So the appraisal goes beyond the analysis presented in the feasibility reports, right? Some reports are there, whatever you submitted every day. It's a depend on at this stage. It's a required completion of additional information and further analysis of project dimensions. Yes. Some information is there, means you need to fill on that compliance. We have saying like that compliance means audit forms, all bills you attached or not, then all things, whatever the required in extra things, right? This is not mentioned in your budget, but when you started the project, that time is required and you demand the things. But why it's required, you need to give justification, right? Who is sanctioned, you need to give justification, right? So everything you need to mention in project appraisal. So the additional information and what it is, the further analysis means next analysis, whatever the additional information you or additional things you required, and their analysis is most important, right? Means by physically whatever the work you have did, and the analytical, whatever the analysis, whatever the market demands, everything you need to what mention in that appraisal. है ना, every aspect, जैसे हमने project में work किया था phase 1 phase 2, what kind of material resources we required, so on that basis you need to add on that particular analysis, right? So project appraisal is the process of report analysis, right? Final report analysis. But here first we prepare the project, then we analyze, and then fill the appraisal, right? Now next, what it is, the market appraisal, right? Market appraisal, it is the focusing on demand projections and accuracy. Got it? So accuracy, it is the infrastructure and competence of key marketing personnels. See, so wherever you go, right, the things kahan se aapne purchase kiya, where is the demand, everything you mention on that particular project appraisal, marketing appraisal. Now the technical appraisal. Technical appraisal is comes in covering product mix, capacity, process of manufacture, engineering, know-how, and technical collaborations are there, raw materials and consumable, then location where it is, site, building, plant, equipment, manpower, right, requirements, and break-even point, how you calculate. So it's depend, and it's very easy if you submit daily reports, right? So is it easy to prepare or find the technical analysis. Got it? Now environmental appraisal. What is environmental appraisal? Impact on land use and micro environment. So commitment on natural resources and government policy. So it depends on environment. Sometimes rain is there, sometimes environment is not well, that's why work not completed, right? So every justifications and specifications to mention on that appraisal. So whatever the government policies, right, some kind of indications we have seen, that's why we are not started work. No, it's happened now, sometimes indications are there but no rains, and because of that indication we just stop the work, right? So that is the every proof, every notifications you attach in your appraisal or file. Now financial appraisal, what it is? So the capital rate of return, specifications, some contingencies, cost, projection, capacity, utilization, and financing pattern. All reports means how much capital you required, how you use it, how you calculate rate of return, right? Whatever the cost you invest and what you will get it, right? Is it profitable or non-profitable? Then the specifications, every cost, every calculations you need to do a specifications. Then contingencies, that is most important. Projections and capacity of utilization, what resources you available and how much resources you use, and remaining resources calculations you need to do, है ना? कितना रहा फिनिश गुड्स, वर्क इन प्रोग्रेस कितना लगा, फिनिश गुड्स कितना है, everything you need to calculate as per the financing pattern, as per the project pattern. Got it? So economic appraisal, what it is economic appraisal? So considered as a supportive appraisal, it views economic rate of return, effective rate of protection, and domestic resources cost. There is some cost and we calculate, right? When we prepare the report, you just calculate fund flow, cash flow, then expenses, income expenses, outcome expenses, then payback period, then IRR. Every time, whatever the resources you buy or you take on loan basis, so every calculations you do. So the economic appraisal is what is the cost you have decided and what you कितना उसमें लगा, right? So and what is the effective rate of return? Is it profitable or non-profitable, right? So managerial appraisal, it is a focus on promoters, organization structure, managerial, personnel, and HR management. So how they manage it, managers, how manage the things, HR, how support the HR, how organization structures work on that particular structures, right? So everything mentioned in managerial appraisal. Now the social cost benefit analysis, right? What it is, social cost benefit analysis? It is the social cost analysis methodology are there, right? And evaluating project from the social point of view and focuses on social cost and benefit of projects. Depends okay, how much benefits you will get. So they often tend to differ from the cost incurred monetary terms and benefit earned in monetary terms by project. So there is the things, right? So if we're talking about other countries projects, so they also use that L and M approach, that is little middles approach, right? आपको बर्मोल का अप्रोच है, मिडिल का अप्रोच है, means the report how you prepare it, the model what it is says, right? So the benefit of project are considered in terms of economic efficiencies price and also referred to as a shadow price. So as per the LM approach, the output and inputs of project are classified into trade goods and services and non-trade goods and services, right? So means the project you require technical person or level person, or that what kind of manpower you use, it's a depend. So all over the world, including India, currently the focus is the economic rate and based on SCBA assume importance in project formulation and investment decision. Yes, what kind of amount we invest and what will get the output. That is the social cost benefit analysis, right? So, and it is because whatever the project, government or industry, they just think about the social cost benefit analysis because publicly it's used and they will get the benefits of that particular, both of them, government को भी benefit मिल रहा है, public को भी benefit मिल रहा है, right? So they always choose the social cost benefit analysis project. Now detailed project report, DPR. What is DPR? It is the project and the investment decision are made. A detailed project report prepared, and it provides all the relevant details including design, drawing, specification, detailed cost estimates, and these would act the blueprint for project implementation, right? Blueprints means everything means done, and you add the report, maintain the report and approved by government audit department, internal auditor, external auditors, and government department. And after whatever the cost, every cost specifications you add, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and on that basis they approve your project, and whatever the amount, जो भी amount उन्होंने decide किया था, they will return to you. Now the techniques. What is project management techniques? Right? So here we have seen some report. अभी report बन गया है हमारा. So on that basis, what kind of techniques we use to prepare the reports? Some kind of chart, some kind of tables, right? So introduction. Here we have seen some project management involves decision makings for planning, right? Organizing, coordinations, monitoring, and control of a number of interrelated time and bond activities. So the project manager therefore often depends on tools and techniques that are effective enough not only for drawing up the best possible initial plan but also capable of projecting, right? So it's a debate, right? What kind of project you have selected, it's dependent on kind of activity, sorry, all kind of reports, and whatever you prepare, you just analyze it technically, right? So technical analysis, when we start, and what is the impact of that? So the deviations means the cost, whatever you decided. For example, if you prepare budget, uh, your budget cost is 2 lakh, for example, and the project cost it's 2 lakh 5,000. Okay, means 5,000 extra spent in your project. So you need to give justification extra 5,000 because that 5,000 not added in your budget, right? So when you prepare budget, why you not added that 5,000? Why you not take a tolerance, rate of tolerance we call that, but we are not adding. So it add when complete the project that time some kind of the materials, whatever the materials you require that time, for example steel, iron, you required, and the rate of tolerance is different. And when you prepare budget that time, you take a 5 rupees per meter or 5 rupees per bar. Uh, and when you complete, when you started the project, the uh, cost of that bar is increased by 1% or 2%. So that is the impact. So that kind of justifications you need to mention in your project report, right? So why you not audit on the time of budget? Because you do not have idea, you have it, but the tolerance is difference, it is increase or decrease, right? If it is decrease, then your project cost whatever you decide उसमें कम होता है, और if it is increase, it is so you added the tolerance rate, and ये add करना ही होता है budget में, even in the budget or whatever the bank guarantee or whatever the letter of credit you submit in your bank or in your supplier, right? So that time the rate of tolerance is mentioned, and it is a technical part because no one is know about the market idea. So means +5 and -5 the tolerance you added. So the search of an effective tool has resulted in development of variety of techniques. So the project management techniques can be classified under two broad categories, and that is bar chart and networks, right? So is it easy to specify? So exactly, the bar charts are the pictorial representation of various tasks required to be performed for accomplishment of the project objective. So these charts have formed the basis of development and many project management techniques, right? So it's a depend. Lot of techniques, lot of bar charts are there when we are doing Excel class. So that time we have find lot of bar charts are there, and you use whatever you want, right? Now the Gantt chart, what it is very important in project management, and all project completion of project you need to prepare the Gantt chart. So Henry L. Gantt, right, in 1861 to 1919, around 1917, develop a system of bar charts for scheduling and reporting progress a report project. So these charts later be known as Gantt charts, right? So it is pictorial representations specifying the start and finish time for various tasks to be performed in a project on a horizontal time scale. So depend, आपको horizontal करना है, vertical करना है, depend, and each project is broken down to physically identifiable and controllable units called the task. Depend कि आपने किस तरह से रिपोर्ट बनाया है क्या क्या, what kind of tables you prepared. If you prepare cash flow, so you will get that kind of, you use the chart, balance sheets, some income expenditure reports, right? Budget reports, PBIT reports, right? Lot of report you need to prepare. Income calculations, interest calculations report, IRR, ROI reports, and every month wise report. So do it. So each project is broken down to physically identifiable and controllable units called the task, and the stars indicate by means of a bar, right? So preferably at equidistance in the vertical axis, and time is plotted in the horizontal axis. So in this figure, task A and land preparation, and task B is a procurement of input, and land preparation task 5 days starting from day 1, and however in practice in time scale is superimposed on a calendar. So if land preparation start on 1st June, it would be completed by 5th June, right? So length of a bar indicates required time for the task, whereas the width has no significance. And though the bar chart is comprehensive, convenient, and very effective, it has the following limitations, right? Some limitations are there. So like many other graphical techniques, it's difficult to handle large number, but Gantt chart is the perfect you mention the report. So here is the diagram of Gantt chart. So does not indicate the inner relationship between the tasks, and if one activity overruns time, what would be the impact on project completion. So now the task A, right? It's a land preparation. Task B, it's a procurement of inputs, whatever the invoices, whatever the bills you required, whatever the material you required, that is important, because it's a बहुत बड़ा list होता है वो, रोज every day you need demand something something something. So it's a big list. So task A, task B, task C, there's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 5. So that kind of task you completed. So every department, if we are make a 5 group, means phase 5 phase group. So every phase submitted their reports, right? If it is a procurement department, so they also submitted, cash department also submitted, project manager also submitted, whatever the work is done, uh, that's for decided chart and all. So everyone submitted the report, and on that basis they analyze the Gantt chart, right? So time and days, what times you required, and the day wise reports you have to prepare, day wise chart you have to prepare. So on that chart basis you prepare bar chart, and that is called the bar chart. Now the milestone chart, what it is exactly, because in your examination the question is Gantt chart and milestone chart, right? So milestone chart is improvement over the bar chart. Whatever the bar chart we have seen, same milestone chart we prepare. How we prepare it? It is the milestone represented by a circle over a task in a bar chart indicates completion of a specific phase of task, right? So, for example, here we have seen included flowing and labeling. So, simple bar chart, it is difficult to monitor progress of flowing, introduction of milestone, right? So, there is some specifications, means whatever the reports, right? Here we have seen the reports you submitted, uh, what kind of report, cash flow, fund flow, then income expenditures report. So how you prepare it, means you prepare every day, quarterly basis, weekly basis, whatever, and you just put in the chart to ready रहते हैं क्योंकि all balance sheets prepared on Excel sheet. So they already prepared and now you just select it and convert into chart. So it's a milestone chart and you highlighted where the thing is expensive, right? From start to end. So task A, flowing, land leveling, land preparations, right now. Some pillars you need to improve. So it's a milestone chart, means starting to, I mean, every work or every report you submitted, whatever the report you submitted, on that basis the chart you prepare. Now example in your SIP, so we all students told like that you just work in last 3 years, right? So every years, 3 years means last 3 years uh, project work you started, right? So first year, what the situation in that year, then next year what it is, and then last year what it is, right? So 3 years chart and tables are prepared. Now the analysis, technical analysis, what, how you do it? You just compile all 3 years chart, right? And prepare one chart on that basis. That is the example of Gantt chart, right? But it is different because that depends on project, what kind of project. A construction project is required, industry project is required Gantt chart because big phases work are there, IT constructions, and a lot of phases are there, a lot of software they want to prepare. So on that basis, they prepare different guide charts. So in your SIP also, you prepare the year-wise chart and then you compile all three and prepare a analysis or technical report only one single chart. So the network what it is a logical extension of Gantt milestone chart incorporating the modifications. Whatever the modifications you required, you do it now as per the management decision or higher authority decisions, right? So the illustrate interrelationship between and among all the milestones in an entire project, right? So the two best known techniques for network analysis are program evaluation and review techniques, right? Program evaluation and review techniques are there. So what it is exactly? So whatever the softwares, you know, you use for that particular data, for particular entries. So all reports are all if we work in SAP or if you work in another software, so all reports are available. If you what pass entries every day, so automatically the reports are generated. You just download the report and on that basis you prepare a chart. So here your time is saved because you put daily basis, right? Here your work hours is saved, right? So everything is saved and you just put the formula in Excel and prepare your chart. Got it? So that is the program review technique, program evaluation review technique. So when we review that particular table or what chart, so feel good because every content whatever we added, so show in that chart, show in that diagram, right? So PERT was developed in US and Navy scheduling the research development activities actually, and Polaris missiles program, right? So the CPM was developed in EI, uh, Pondue, Nurmus and Company as an application to construction project. It's used in construction project. So those two methods were developed simultaneously, and it is the PERT and CPM method, means critical path methods. You calculate both of them. So here we have seen then the critical path method, what it is exactly and how we calculate it. It is very simple, but you have to put all information in your report, right? So there are little distinction in terms of applications of this concept, means PERT means whatever the uh, program evaluation review report and technical report and CPM. Now here we have seen the CPM, means critical path method. It is where emphasis in the optimizing resources allocations. So however, nowadays the two techniques are used simultaneously in network analysis, and the difference are considered to be historical. So here we use both CPM and program evaluation review technique. So describe the work plan of project, and where arrows and circles respectively indicate the activities and event in the project. So these arrow or network diagram includes all the activities and events that should be completed to reach the project objectives. Got it? So the activities and events are laid in planned sequence of their accomplishment. However, so there are two types of notations. There is activity arrow and activity on node, right? So activity on arrow and activity on node. So here we have seen AOA, activity of arrow, right? When we show the particular tasks and we just compare with each other, so we have mentioned the arrow, that kind of arrow here we have seen in diagram, right? And procurement input, right? So that is the AOA, means the activity on arrow, and the AON means activity of node, right? So the here activity on arrow for AON notation box, and here we have seen the land preparation, right? It is the AON, activity on node, and procurement of input, it is an activity of arrow. Means here we are not started the activity, here we have just seen the land, and then we have started the activity. Some materials are there, some machineries are there, and then we'll start our work, right? So here we call the AON, activity on node diagram. Now the evaluation of procurement and review technique, what it is, the program evaluation and review technique is the minimize it the method of minimize trouble spots, right? Sometimes we use program bottleneck delays, some work is delayed, that time we use interruptions and determine the critical activities before they occur, so that various activities in the project can be coordinated. Sometimes it's happened na, yes, due to some time, or due to some lack of materials, or due to lack of manpower, the activity will not completed on time. Means the critical path is created, means whatever the time you have decided, whatever the target you have decided, it's not completed on that particular day. So you do different methods or some extra efforts, and then you completed the time in next 2 days, or uh, working extra shifts, right? Now PERT terminology, what it is? PERT terminology, it is the activity, right? Means program evaluation technical reports, right? So here recognizable work, right? So the project requiring time and resources for its completion, whatever the time, whatever the duration you have decided. And the dummy activity means like that we just use कि yes complete होता है कि नहीं, हम लोग ये demo करके देखते हैं, right? And then we'll start the actual work. So an activity that indicate predecessors relationship and requires no time nor resources, right? Means whatever you require, you just keep it on one time, right? And on that basis you start the work. Now critical activity, yes, activity on the critical path having zero slack float time. Obviously now if rainy season is there, so no activity, so what kind of report you prepare? No report you prepare, because you just mentioned due to rainy we are not doing work, due to some technical errors we are not doing, means whatever the hours, 1 hour 2 hours, you just sit like that, no work is prepared on that time. So the critical path, the longest time path connecting the critical activities, and the project network, the total time on this path is the shortest duration of the project. There is very short duration of that particular project and you used it and you complete on time. Now, and any point of view, है ना, when we analyze it, when we decided it. So we just completion or beginning of and that activity. We just finish the activity. So the burst event means whatever the event which gives rise to more than one activity. At least every day you need to complete the one chart, one activity, right? So here expected time, the weighted average of the estimated, optimistic, most likely and pessimistic time duration of project activity. If you start morning 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock and you finished at 6 or 5 o'clock, the time is 8 to 9 hours, whatever, and on that hours, whatever the activity you have completed, you just mention, right? So here the formula is expected time is equal to, right? T is the optimistic time, TO, right? T0 is the optimistic time. Then TM is the most likely time, means the very important time, and TP is the pessimistic time, right? म्हणजे, sorry, what it is like that expected time, suppose a 4 hours, right? And the most likely time 3 hours, means you have decided कि overall time जैसे SIP का ही आप देख लीजिए 60 days में होगा, but and you are just doing work and end of the day or end of the week you find like that your work is completed within 2 or 3 days, right? So it's a very good time for you, because whatever the time you decided, you not required before time you finished. But if you are not finished on time and you need extra time, that means you need take approval of that. Got it? Because deadline already finished, but your work is not completed. That's why you need to take approval and you finished within 1 week, whatever the time you mention in your application, whatever the time you decided, or whatever the next deadline given by you, and that is the pessimistic time. Got it? So here we have seen expected time, then optimistic time and pessimistic time, right? So optimistic time is a positive time, whatever the deadlines you have given, you just submitted on that particular date or before that date. But the pessimistic time is like that you are not submitted on time because some kind of error, some kind of things are happened, and extra time you require. Got it? So earliest start time, whatever the earliest start time, possible time at which the event occur, the test also denotes the earliest start time, right? So the activities imminent from events and some kind of activities you commence on time and finished on time, right? So the latest start time, it is the time which event can take place, also referred as latest start time, and indicating the latest time at which an activity can begin without delaying the project completion time. Right. So the slacks is there, some kind of the amount spare time available between completion of an activity and beginning of next activity. Right. So sometimes it's happen if you required extra time, means you paid extra money, right? Extra money, then extra material, extra manpower. So everything, whatever you decided, it is not completed. You spent some extra things, material, money, everything, because no one is doing work without money, especially in project. Got it? So now here we have seen the steps for network analysis, and that is the 6 steps of network analysis are as follows, right? Am I audible to all of you? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now here the steps for a network analysis, and that is the 6 steps of network analysis are as follows. The prepare of the list of activities, define the inner relationship among the activities, estimate the activity duration, assemble the activities in the form of the flow diagram, draw the network and analyze the network, compute EST and LST, whatever we have seen, identify critical event, critical path, and critical activities. Right? Now, the list preparations, how we prepare the list, how we complete it. Got it? So the list preparation is, so the list preparation means whatever the report you have prepared, whatever the cost sheet you have prepared, whatever the PBIT, whatever the income expenditures report, whatever the reports you prepare, on that basis you calculate the things, right? The activities report, right? The what balance sheets report, then some procurement report, invoices report, sales report, purchase reports, every reports you mention and prepare. So the things, the illustrations means example is the process. A simple example of creating facility of lift irrigation in a frame would be used in following text. So here we have just understand the irrigation project. It is assumed that the competent authority has approved the project and the project schedule start with the activity of site selection, right? So whatever the site selection you approved and started the project budget and scheduling, right? So the irrigation would be provided from a newly dug well. Obviously, आपको भी करना ही पड़ेगा well के लिए. Then field channels from the well would be laid after the digging, right? Then suitable pumps would be procured and installed for the lifting water. Absolutely right. Then specifications for the pump is finalized based on the groundwater prospecting data and before digging, right? Now the pump and other input would be the procured until the site is selected. Pump will be installed after digging the well. Means that is the steps of installation. So what time you required, when you start, and what time you finish the that particular task. That is the important of that small project. It is the part of project, not project, right? Because of that, we can't start further process. So with the above, whatever the assumptions or whatever the things, with the activity of the project are listed in table, and it may be noted the not executive, right? So the list, the work of list or time bound, some things are there. So set of assumptions or the perceptions of the project manager. So no more activity could be added to the list of some of the activities, and the examples, we find a lot of examples, but it is a part of the project, not full project. So the network process means the materials is available, that's why you do that kind of particular work. If material is not available, it is very difficult, right? So here we have seen the list of activity when we start any project work. So before that, you just prepare the list and then you started to complete the work. Now the list of activity, here we have seen the site selection. First your place, your location is selected, then digging well, right? Then we started to dig the well, for the well. Then laying field channels, so whatever the materials, whatever the channels we required, we just lay down. Then procurement pump, as per the uh, project requirement, we just invoice or procure the pump and installation of pump and test run. After that we'll take test and your the part of project is completed, right? So the what duration you required, what time you required, what manpower you required, everything you just mention in that particular or small project. Now the interrelationship among that activities, what is it is important, because without of man and machine it's not possible, right? So the relationship among the activities could be defined as specifying the preceding and succeeding activity. So the that activity is immediate, whatever you decided, whatever the task, whatever the time you decided. And the example is set that the you just prepare the list of activity, the materials you required, whatever you want for that complete the activity, and then you finished it, right? So if we're talking about program evaluation report techniques, the interrelationship is generally defined using the preceding activity. So only the terminating activity will not have any that preceding activity, right? So here we just learn the relationship among the that particular activity. The relationship is like that, it is the part of project work, and whatever the list you have decided, as per that you complete it. Means the relations of the place, relation of the time, relation of that particular material, and inter communicate with each other, and on that basis you install the project, right? Now, so the interrelationship activities, here site selection, digging well, laying field channel, procurement of pump, installation of pump, and test run. After the test run, finally you selected that project is completed. Got it? Yes. I'm audible to all of you. Would you like to ask any question regarding that? Do you understand what is PRT, CPM? Yes, wake up. Hello. Just interact with me. Yes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes, Kumal. Are you there? Rupali, Sangram, Abhishek.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Yes. So here we have learned some kind of the work, and those who have started their SIP work, so you have an idea, right? How to prepare it, how to collect the data. If you collect your all data, so it is easy to prepare all kind of report. Means data is last 3 years, na, whatever we required. So if you collect it very well, so it is very easy to prepare all reports, charts, and tables. Now, next it is the estimation activity time, what time you required. So the time is actually expected to be extended in carrying out the activity. So determines that some cases are there. We have seen how and calculate the critical path method. So in program evaluation report technique, it is the probabilities of distribution of weighted average of estimated time, and that is we have seen optimistic time, pessimistic time, and most likely time, means whatever you expected, right? So the expected time, it is the each activity is computed as the following. That is, we have already seen expected time, and the time um, is optimistic time, means minimum time assuming everything going well, and the TM is the most likely time, model time required under normal circumstances, and TP is the pessimistic time, maximum time assuming everything goes wrong, right? So here we have seen the examples of the estimated times and site selections of time. Same formula, we just put it here. We have been some 4, 6 and 14 days respectively, right? We just put it in the formula. So, and then we calculate it. So our formula is TO is the total estimated time. What is the required? It's TO means optimistic time. For TM, it is the pessimistic time, model pessimistic time, and TP is the total pessimistic time. So is equal to 14, means 4, 6 and 14. So 4 is the optimistic time, then TM is the most likely time, and TP is the pessimistic time. So here we just put the figure in that formula and we'll get the answer that it total 7 days, right? So total 7 days we required to complete that project, and then we on that basis we prepare the chart, right? So 3 time estimate, optimistic, pessimistic and most likely is there, and on that basis we prepare the table and the activities, right? Site selection, it comes in A, preceding activity, right? So it will comes on TO time, right? Optimistic time, then most likely time is 6 and pessimistic time is 14. So here we calculate the estimated time is 7. Digging well, it's how much time you require as per you just mentioned the figure. Laying field channels, then procurement pump and installations pump. On that basis, you just prepare it, and then we'll start to prepare a critical path like here. So we have seen tomorrow, okay, how to calculate critical path. We just take same example in tomorrow, right? Okay. So I hope you understand today's session. It is very easy and important because in your examination ask the question regarding that. Okay. So take care and bye bye. See you tomorrow, and tell your friends to join the class. And those who are not submitted their SIP chapters, please meet your guide and submit as early as possible. At least meet your guide. Those who are not, meet the guide, because a lot of students have submitted their reports, their chapters. Got it? Please convey this message to your group also. Bye bye. Take care. See you tomorrow.